The next film from Burton came in 2001, and I guess this was probably his most mainstream Hollywood summer blockbuster movie. And I'm talking about his reimagining, if you will, of Planet of the Apes. And a lot of people shit on this movie, and I can't really speak for the original because I know it's a total fucking crime, but I've never watched the original. It's always been on my to-do list, but I never got around to it. But I just feel like a lot of people don't give this enough credit because it was, like I said, a big Hollywood film for Burton, which was something that is not really his style. And I guess the casting of somebody as big and um, popular to the masses, such as Mark Wahlberg. But I'm not gonna lie, I've probably watched this more times than I can actually remember since I've bought it on DVD, and I think. The makeup effects are incredible, and just again, great casting. Again, I mean, the likes of Paul Giamatti and Michael Clark Duncan is just really great. And I mean, as far as how different it is from the original, I can definitely tell you this that the apes in this movie are just so much. I just feel that they're much more violent than in the original film, and they're just much more aggressive. And it's cool. It works. It's a great action, high-paced movie, and it's great. And I mean, the ending is the ending's cool. I like the ending, and like I said, a lot of people, this is probably right up there with Mars Attacks as far as one of the more underrated Burton films. But like I said, it's totally worth checking out. I enjoy it every time. Burton's next film came in the form of a more fairy tale esque movie, kind of in the vein of Edward Scissorhands, and this was based on a book by Daniel Waters, which was Big Fish. And this movie is fantastic. I remember seeing this while I was on vacation at Universal Studios in Florida, and I loved it. This was probably one of the closest movies that made me cry. It's great about an ailing father trying to reconnect with his son, and his son and him have always had a broken relationship because he's always felt that his father's lied to him about these over-the-top, bigger-than-life fantasy stories. So as the son is watching his father on his deathbed, he tries to separate the fact from the fiction by talking to people and trying to really get into his father's head and learn about it. So it's told in flashbacks throughout the father's life with Ewan McGregor playing the younger version of the father, while the older version of the father character is played by I'm blanking out on his name now, but I don't know, I'm totally blanking out on his name. It's really weird that Albert Finney, that's right. Albert Finney, he's played great. And again, really great casting. This Billy Crudup, who plays the son, is fantastic. He's gone on to great roles such as Watchmen and Public Enemies. And Marion Cotillard's actually in this, who also played in Public Enemies again this past summer. And it's a great, fantasy-esque movie, a real departure for Burton, but in the best kind of way. So it was really cool for him to scale back after a big budgeted movie like Planet of the Apes to do something a little bit more in vein with his true sensibilities, and it really shines through, so I highly recommend seeing this one. Burton's next two films actually came in the same year in 2005, the first one being in the summer in July of '05, which was his reimagining of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, again reteaming with Johnny Depp, who would play the infamous chocolate extraordinaire Willy Wonka. And people say what they will, but I grew up reading the book. It is my favorite book of all time. I've read it probably over 15 times, so I've always grew up loving the original movie, but seeing this movie and loving the book, this movie, I'm telling everybody, this movie is more true to the spirit of the book. Because let's be honest, if you read the book and then you see the original movie, the Oompa Loompas aren't orange and green. There are no golden geese. There's none of that. There's nothing like that. So, I mean, not to say that that's bad or anything, but it's just different. But this movie was definitely more true to the book, and I guess that's what I appreciated, especially with, it was so fitting, how many people can say that your favorite book is being adapted by your favorite director and starring your favorite actor. I mean, that just doesn't happen, and this really lived up to all my expectations. All the kids were really well cast. Freddie Highmore plays Charlie Bucket, and he had worked with Johnny a year before that in Finding Neverland, which is another phenomenal movie, and Freddie Highmore's a phenomenal young actor, and I'm sure he's going to go on to bigger and better things. But this movie is really great, and again, Danny Elfman does accompanies the music on here, and everybody's just great. One of the sub plots that was never in the book, but they added it into the movie, was a relationship between Willy Wonka and his father, who was a dentist. So it's a cool little it's a cool thing that they injected into it, and I appreciate it because it kind of gives the character of Willy Wonka a little bit more of a foundation, so he's not just this zany chocolate guy who's obsessed with chocolate and lives in a factory with Oompa Loompas. So it's a great movie. I've always loved this one.